Don't Breathe, directed by Federico Alvarez. I think that's how you say his name. And it's starring Jane Levy, Dylan Minnette, and Daniel Zovatto. And they play three friends from Detroit. The names being Alex, Rocky, and Money. And they spend their time breaking into homes and selling the stuff that they steal to help fund their needs and their dreams. So the person that is buying these stolen goods from Alex, Rocky and Manny doesn't give them a fair price. Not enough to fund their dreams and needs. So they target a home of an army veteran that they may have something like $300,000 in cash hidden away somewhere. I think that's the amount. It was a lot of money. So there's a rumor that he might be, holding this money up in this house. So they target this house. So they break into this house, and that's when the horror really begins. The blind man is played beautifully by Stephen Lang, whom you might know from Avatar. He played the Colonel, and he delivers a very believable performance, and also gives it that almost B-movie villain/horror character sort of feel, but does it in a very sort of majestic sort of way. From the way he moved to the way he delivered his lines, I knew while watching him on screen that he would become an iconic horror character, and an original iconic character. Now, the poster for me, there it is. I love the poster for this film, but it also, for me, sums this movie up. I love the poster. It reminded me exactly of how I felt while watching the film, and that is this 80s B-movie horror feel. I mean, this poster looks, it kind of goes back to those old sort of very kind of B-movie grungy 80s horror films, and that's how the film also felt. Don't Breathe is a very interesting and smartly done twist on the home invasion genre, and that's what really attracted me to this movie. This is a movie that makes you feel tense, uneasy, and at times horrified and freaked out. A film that sends shivers up your spine. That's what makes this a very damn good horror movie. It's twisted, very suspenseful, and tense. There were moments in this film that did make you jump, but they weren't your typical sort of cheap jump scares. They were genuine, moments where, they actually made you jump because of the way the film was crafted and the way the film was directed. I mean, this was an incredibly tense film, and tense is kind of like, it barely kind of sums this film up. I mean, it keeps you on the edge of your seat right through it. In a way, this film reminded me a little bit of Alien. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it was the fact that for the duration of the film, this film was based in a house, and I really liked that. It gave you that kind of claustrophobic sort of feel, and kind of just like Alien in a way, where it was just based on inside that ship, that very kind of sort of claustrophobic feel, and that film achieves that as well. And now you just don't know where this blind man was going to be next, and where he would, and what he would actually do, and when he would actually strike. And for some reason, the first film that came to my mind was Alien. And the score in this film, I loved the score in this film. The music was by a Roque Banos, I think. Again, I'm not sure how you actually say his name, but he creates this sort of thumping, tense score. It's sort of like a banging sort of kind of sound, and in a way it reminded me of a heartbeat. It kind of, it sounded terrifying. It was very simple and minimal, and I loved it because it worked with the film, it worked with the scenes, and it helped add tension and create that feeling of dread. And that, alongside with the editing as well. I mean, the film is very well edited, and a combination of all those different factors, the soundtrack, the editing, the way it was directed, and the performances, it all adds to help create that horror. There's also a few twists and turns in this movie. Twists that I didn't see coming, and went into a direction I really did not see coming, and I loved that. There's been so many films that I've seen this year where I've predicted the ending, or I've predicted certain scenes before they've happened. And so it was really nice and refreshing to sit down in a movie and not only be immersed into a very well crafted horror film, but also have no idea what's going to happen next. I mean, no idea which direction these characters or story is gonna go in next. You know, it was very smartly done, and I really liked that. There was some genuine twists and turns, you know, genuine surprises in this film where it's like, oh, I didn't expect it to quite go in that direction, but it is very smartly done, and I liked it. Now, there's this scene. I'm not going to give anything away about this scene because this is a spoiler-free review. But there's a scene that in this film that actually made me feel a little sick. It actually drew quite a few laughs from the audience. But it's when we get one of our twists, and it was very B-movie like. It was a sick twist and very twisted. It was a very disturbing and sick scene. But the way it was directed and shot added value to that scene. It wasn't just a scene to make you feel grossed out. Fede Alvarez did a very good job at crafting these moments which build up so much tension and executed those scenes majestically. But there was meaning behind them. They're not just there to shock and gross you out. This is not, this is not just your horror, your standard horror B-movie full of cheap scares and thrills, but it's actually a very smartly done and well-crafted horror B-movie which had meaning behind it. Again, it reflected the current times when it comes to the economy. So this scene that could have just been a cheap sort of thrill or a cheap sort of scare was crafted so well and shot so majestically that it did add value to that scene, because I think it could have gone very easily the other way and it could have just been sort of like a cheap sort of moment in the film, and but no, it all helps by the fact that the way it was edited and the way it was shot, it was it kind of added value to the scene. It isn't a nice scene, and it is a very sick sort of gut-wrenching, you could say, perhaps, scene. There was a moment where I actually felt like going, as you're about to get sick. And I like that because, again, this is a horror film, and horror films are meant to do that, and it achieved that. I really did like this film, and it's a very interesting and smartly done twist on the home invasion genre. And that's what attracted me to this film to begin with. And it was very, very well directed, and it did really surprise me, actually. The only gripe that I do have is more so in the last act. I'm not going to say too much because, again, it's a spoiler-free review, but I fancy there was a moment that happens that I felt destroyed the tension and horror element slightly. And I felt there was a performance by Dylan Minnette, I think that's how you say his name, who plays Alex, was just okay. Compared to the other two, he didn't really blow me away when it came to his performance, and I think he's kind of struggled to sell the horror, and I could see that. Maybe that's just me, but that was my opinion. My opinion is performance was just okay. But I thought that there was a very good performance delivered by Jane. Is it Levy? Or Levi. When I read it, I see it as Levi. I'm sorry if I've said it wrong. Again, I'm useless with bloody pronouncing names. But she plays Rocky, and I thought she was really, really good in this film, and she really sold the horror. So apart from those minor gripes, I did really, really like this movie. I really like Don't Breathe. I highly recommend it, and it does everything a horror movie should. And it's crafted very well directed. It's smart, it's tense, it's disturbing, it's sick. Go and see it. I'll be giving Don't Breathe an A. Thank you again for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and follow me on my journey. And please feel free to leave a comment below. You might disagree with my opinions. You might agree with my opinions. You might think something completely different. I mean, anything, even if you want to ask me a question. My next video, I'm going to do a kind of like a vlog on my opinions and thoughts on some of the new set pictures that have been released from Warner Brothers regarding the new Justice League film. A film that I'm really, really looking forward to, and I'm a massive DC fanboy. So I'm gonna just do a quick sort of vlog on my thoughts and opinions on those couple of photos that we've seen, and I really, really do like them. So yeah, I'll be bringing you that next. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon.